Well, if I give them all my high-res images, then what I usually do is I don't give them my good pictures. Because some student, and most students are great, but there'll be the one student that will start making prints and putting them on his wall huge because he's got the full-res pictures. But if I come in here and say resize to fit down to 5 megapixels instead of the original maybe 24 megapixels, then he can play with it as much as he wants in Lightroom or in Camera Raw. But if he tries to make a print, he's only going to be able to make a little bitty prints out of it. And so that can be rather convenient. You could do the same thing with clients if they ask for your raw files and you don't want to give them the full size. So if you find that that's not available, just go over here where it says DNG and turn on Use Lossy Compression in order to get that checkbox to appear. And so here, after setting one of these up, I might go over to the left side and add that as a preset. And I'll just call it 5 megapixel, 5 MP, DNG. So now if I hit the cancel button, anytime I have any picture, if I want to be able to give it to somebody else, they requested a raw file for some reason, maybe for teaching purposes, I can now choose File, Export with Preset, 5 megapixel DNG, and it's going to pop it out there and give it to them. But that's a new option. If you don't find it in your version of Lightroom, you'll need to update Lightroom to the most current version because that is a new feature. So in older versions, you wouldn't find it. All right. Any other questions related to that before we move on?
Sure. A question from Dennis from Spokane. Can raw files be converted later to DNG after importing?
Yeah, you can. You can, like I just showed you, when you export, there's also a menu choice, and I probably won't be able to find it immediately. Yeah, I can. If you select any image within your library, go to the library menu, and there's a choice right here called Convert Photo to DNG. And when you do that, you'll get similar options for doing this. The only thing is you won't be able to do things like scale down. That's just in the export module, because it assumes that you wouldn't want to convert and then throw away the original size. Instead, you would want to export, meaning create an additional version of that picture. So you have the original and the smaller version. So, yes.
One more before we move on. This is from Marion from Romania. If you reset the develop settings on a DNG and close Lightroom, will the history be erased?
If you reset
the develop settings on a DNG and close Lightroom.
We can find out really quickly.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I just did that. Let's look at the history over here. You can see that I've made some beautiful changes. I hit reset. Come on. And reset is just the topmost choice within history. So now you can quit Lightroom, open it back up again. It would look like your original, but below that you would still have your history. If you don't want the history because you maybe experimented with the image, you're going to give it to somebody else and you don't want them to be able to see this stuff, then go ahead and reset, and next to the word history, hit this little X over here. And that's going to clear out your history. So whoever you give the file to can't see that information. And I'd have to check. I think the history might be just in your catalog. I don't know if it's stored in the actual file itself. So if you gave the individual file to somebody else, don't know if they'll see that history or not. It is most likely just in your catalog as opposed to in the file itself. But you'd have to double check to be sure. All right. We pretty good with questions and such? Sounds good. So now that we've talked about the other ways of getting our images into Lightroom, I'd like to move on to another way of organizing our images, and that is with keywords. So far we've only used ratings and a few other features like the little color tag we can put on it or making a pick or a flag, but none of those things are going to really help me find an individual photograph. You know, if I remember I shot a waterfall in Iceland and I had my finger in the water, how do I find that if all I've done was add ratings and label in a pic? Not going to help me do it. I have to remember